anybody that's available, we'll be down there and we can use.
Dan, what's the thinking on George over Louis, being that both of them are on normal rest?
Yeah, I mean, I think, certainly, I think in terms of the rest, Georgia a little bit more. They both threw very, very well against Detroit. George certainly threw the ball extremely well. Was kind of by design, and this is kind of the way we had hoped it would work out. And so this is the way it went.
Daniel?
This wouldn't be George's first elimination start either. He did start Game 3 here back in 22. How much can that experience help him going into tomorrow?
Yeah, no doubt. This is. I think these kinds of games are tremendous. I mean, this is what a lot of us as kids did in the backyard. This is what we imagined, and these kinds of games are exciting on a lot of levels. And having been through it, like you mentioned, for George. And being in this situation before certainly helps you, kind of tame the emotion and tame it in the right direction and have it work to your advantage. And, again, I think what we saw in Game 1 of the series was outstanding, George. And again, that's what we're looking for tomorrow.
Go to Shannon on the right.
Dan, you played in a number of elimination games as a player. How have you leaned on that or leaned into that, and what you're sharing right now?
Yeah, I mean, these are they take out an excitement of their own, and this is what we play for. This is the excitement of postseason baseball. This is the excitement for any player that's been through it. And I think there's so much that goes into these games, but I think ultimately when that first pitch is thrown, you've crossed the lines, and it feels very familiar to a game, and you go out and you compete and you do what you do. And again, I think we've talked a lot about identity all season long, and these are the times where it's very important, to kind of, really rest into that and what you do well, what we do well as a team, and stay with that. And it feels like that once the game gets started. It's all this, prior to it, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of talk, but once you get between the lines, you're back to business.
Go back to Daniel again.
Dan, yesterday in the clubhouse, despite it being a pretty tough loss, it seemed like your guys had moved on pretty quickly. There was some music playing, an upbeat demeanor. Just what can that mentality do for you, and where did that maybe come from yesterday?
I mean, I think this is, a group that has, like we've talked about so often this season, has come back well and understands what they need. Yesterday, obviously a tough ball game for us, but, everything's still in front of us, and we have control, and it felt good that the guys were staying positive, because that's where we need to be. And I think they understand what they need. They understand what's at stake here. They understand the moment very well, and one of the things they have done all season long, especially toward the later part of the year, is play loose, and staying loose and being in that state of mind has worked very, very well for this group, and that's why they're trying to stay right there.
On the left, Taryn.
On that same note, today really seemed like just a normal workout for you guys. What we would see in the regular season, no one seemed down their spirits, just business as usual. How rare is it for, you've talked so much about this team being able to just bounce back and keep even keeled, but how hard is that to actually continue to apply in the playoffs, or how rare is that considering the stakes are higher, the situations more stressful, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody understands, what's at stake, and when you think about our stretch run towards the end of the year, you're playing in a lot of games that mean a lot, and in some ways you're comfortable there, and I think that's where these guys are. They know tomorrow means a lot, just like a lot of the games in September did, and so they've been through it, they've pushed, they know what needs to happen, and so again, keeping that sort of loose state of mind, but they're relaxed, but they're focused, and I think that's the difference. And these guys know how to focus. They know, staying in the moment is a big thing that they've talked about all season long, and certainly tomorrow night is one of those moments, and those guys will be ready for those moments, and they'll be loose and ready to play.
Go to Brady.
Dan, in a perfect world, you'd jack up Skubal's pitch count, try to get him out early, but you also can't just sit back and let him dictate things. How do you balance that desire with also being aggressive and swinging at the right pitches?
Yeah, again, I think that has been a key to our success over the last times we've faced him, is being able to put some pitches on him, especially during the regular season. That's sometimes controllable, sometimes not. Like you said, if he's attacking the zone and getting, pitches into the zone early, you can't be as passive. But our guys, that's one of the things they do really well is they can adjust. And, I think tomorrow will be no different. It is a balance. But these guys have seen him now 3 times and, have a pretty good idea of what to expect. And we'll take that game plan, out there tomorrow and be ready to go.
Anything else for Dan? Jack, you have anything?
What are your top 3 cereal choices?
Captain Crunch is at the top of the list for sure. Then you got Fruit Loops, and then I got to give Tony the Tiger a little bit too. He's the Frosted Flakes are up there too. So
Teenager?
Start on the right with Daniel.
George, this isn't your first elimination start. You started game 3 back in 22. How much can you lean on that experience and kind of channel that as you go into tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps to get a little experience under my belt a couple of years ago. Kind of helps with how you deal with all the nerves and all that kind of stuff that goes into the game. Yeah, I'm really excited once again to take the ball and just going to go out there and give them all. So, yeah.
Go to Taryn on the left.
George, you started this series. You're going to have a chance. You're going to close it out. You guys have seen this team so many times at this point. You have the game plan, but what was kind of a big takeaway from pitching in this environment at home to begin the series against this team?
Yeah, for one, the atmosphere is awesome. I'm hoping, I know that'll be the same, tomorrow. But yeah, nothing changes. Like I said the last time, we're all, this time of the year, all pitching with your best stuff. You're all, everything kind of just leads up to this moment. You got all your best stuff going out there and attacking. And I think everyone's going to do that. And, just try and put up as many zeros as possible. And, but yeah, we just play our game and keep doing that. And, I think we should be in a good spot.
Go to Kate.
You took the mound in this elimination game back in 2022. Looking back at that George Kirby, what is a piece of advice that you would give him, that something you know now that you didn't know then?
Just the moment, you can make it bigger. I think if I was telling myself that, or now, from what I knew 3 years ago, just kind of go out there and, nothing changes. It's still the same game. The stakes are higher, but there's no need to go out there and be someone who you're not. So just, attack the day and go out there and have some fun and, do what makes you good.
George, you mentioned that you guys know each other now. Does it just come down to execution, or do you change up anything, or you just like, no, if I execute better, then I'll be fine?
Yeah, you can always, switch up game plan, whatnot, but I think it really just comes down to, having some conviction in your pitches and, executing. More times than not, when me or anyone else executes, you get the guy out. So it's just staying locked in on every pitch, being committed, having some conviction on every pitch, and, kind of just leave it all out there. And then if you do that, it's easier to, not have any regrets or kind of go back and think about what you should have done. But, yeah, just go out there and, be convicted.
Go to Brady.
George, knowing that you have a pretty much full bullpen behind you and it's all hands on deck, does that give you any more freedom maybe to empty the tank earlier or show some things earlier? Does it not really change anything for you?
No, that doesn't change anything for me. Yeah, I'm just going to go out there, give the team best chance to win, go as long as I can, and I know whoever comes in after me is going to go out there and shut it down.
Back to Ryan in the front.
George, I saw you a couple times on the last home start having to put your ear up. How loud is it out there at times when you're trying to hear the pitch calm? I mean, like, can you hear it? I mean, is it loud enough? Because it looked like you were struggling at times.
Yeah, it gets super loud. I know Sam tried to put some like tube directed noise where I hear a little bit better. It helps, but I mean, with 45,000 people screaming, it is kind of tough. So just got to make sure you get, hear the right thing. If not, have Cal do some signs. But yeah, it gets loud. So, but if anything, that energized me a little bit.
You'd rather have a yelling.
Yeah, of course.
Go on the right to Dan.
George, in the first inning, you were touching 100 miles an hour last time out. Just how much of that was adrenaline? And with the adrenaline, how much tapers off as the outing goes on, or does it stay pretty much the same throughout?
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. So, yeah.
Oh, Shannon, sorry.
George, your innings, because you started a little bit late, are down from where they normally would be this time of the year. Have you felt a difference in the last month with that?
Like kind of health-wise, or?
Yeah,
or
just as strong as you are
yeah.
at this time. Is it different than you normally would be if you pitched an entire season?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, there hasn't been as many like ups and downs, kind of with the full season. But yeah, myself and everyone else, I think we're all feeling really good at this moment. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel great for tomorrow. So yeah.
Anything else for George?